Hi, guys. I have a couple of important details to share with you in case you are unable to make it to the live lesson on Friday. So, here are the details of your critical research project. This is going to monopolize our time between now and spring break. It's a very important project. And the main idea of it is that you are going to research the literary criticism that has been published in response to the novel that you've been reading. And so you've already gotten an overview of literary criticism, and we've read a couple of novels so that you can get used to that. I'm spreading this out over many weeks. We are going to take this pretty slow because I want you to do it well, and I want you to feel like you understand it. I don't want you to feel rushed and overwhelmed. So we are going to begin next week by going to the library for research. You do have to have 5 sources, and I will give you a little bit more information about those. Overall, you need to have 4 critical articles and a biographical source. So 4 of them will be critical responses, and then you will have a biographical source about your author. Your goal in that biography is to connect the author's life to their work. And so this is a new historicism kind of response where you will be looking at the author's life and seeing how it connects to the themes and plot points in their novel. And so after you find all your sources, step 1 is to turn in a typed works cited. And so we will discuss and look at MLA formatting. You will then have a couple of weeks in which you will be focused on reading your sources and taking notes. And then you will begin to summarize the articles. And your first major assignment is an annotated bibliography, which is a works cited or MLA formatted sources that also include article summaries. Annotated bibliographies are all the rage right now in college. You will do an annotated bibliography in many of your classes, regardless of discipline, whether it is English, science, history. You will do annotated bibliographies in those classes. So that is a very important skill to take with you to college. And after you have summarized your sources and taken all your notes, then we'll begin putting together the paper. Notice we're not doing that until the end of February or early March. So this is not a rushed situation. And in fact, I have made the decision to go ahead and stretch your paper out into 4th quarter. I usually try to get it all done by the end of 3rd quarter so that we can move on, but I'm just kind of deciding to stretch it until spring break so that you have a little bit of extra time and I'm not rushed to grade it. So we can all kind of take a deep breath while we're doing this. After we write our outline, we are going to begin drafting the analysis in sections. We are going to take it a step at a time. You'll write your introductory paragraph and get feedback on that. You'll write a body paragraph and get feedback on that. And like I said, we're just going to take it one step at a time. Notice, I mentioned this in class the other day, but due dates are going to mean 8:30 a.m. on the day in question and not midnight of that day. So where it says your typed works cited is due, that means on February the 5th at class time, not later that day. I want to make sure that that's clear from the very beginning. Also notice that unless you have an especially excused absence, these due dates hold solid. We have resources that you can access at home. Half of you, or about a third of you, are distance learners anyway. So being absent from the building does not excuse you from a due date. Illness does. Funerals do. Life events happen that take precedence over schoolwork, but you need to communicate with your teachers about that kind of thing, not on the due date, but before the due date. Also notice that snow days do not affect due dates. Everything gets turned in digitally anyway. So the fact that we're not physically in the building doesn't change when something is due. And that is just the fact of life these days. So we've got to stick to our calendar. I am also providing a calendar in calendar form. This visual appearance of things makes more sense to me. I kind of like to see things in a calendar style chart. So I'm providing you both of those. You'll get both a list and a chart. These dates are, of course, subject to change as I notice whether we are progressing quickly or slowly. I may alter them. I am more likely to give you more time than less time. I seriously doubt that I'm going to be like, hey, you guys are doing great. Let's scoot that paper due date up by 2 weeks. I'm not going to do that to you. But if things aren't working out and we're not ready to turn in the annotated bib, I might scoot it up a few days. So that's just kind of my caveat that these things are subject to change. And I hope that having this all visual and available to you is helpful. But let me know if you have any questions.